The Battle of Thermopylae consisted of two smaller battles. One was the famous battle at the Thermopylae Pass, and the other was the battle at the Artemisian Strait. The famous Battle of Thermopylae was not only fought by the Persians and the Spartans, this battle also consisted of the Athenians as well. The famous battle at Thermopylae consisted of about 7,000 Greek soldiers versus roughly 350,000 Persians. This means that the Greeks were outnumbered almost 50 to 1. But the battle takes place in a narrow pass. You see, what a pass allows you to do is negate the sort of numerical advantage that the Persians had. You can only fight with how many men you can fight with on the battleground, so having the battle at Thermopylae was a great strategic move for Spartan king and general of this battle, Leonidas, to make. However, in order to fight the Persians at Thermopylae, the Athenian naval forces must not allow Greek land forces to be hit from behind. So in order to be able to make a stand at Thermopylae, the Artemisian Strait must be protected by the Athenian general Themistocles and his naval forces. Now that the Artemisian Strait is protected and the Greek land forces can now make a stand at the Thermopylae Pass, the Spartans lined up in a phalanx formation, which means that they had their shields overlapping and the front line had spears underneath the bottom of their shields, and the people behind the original front line had their spears above the other front line shields. After 2 days, the Spartans faced minimal losses, while the Persian forces had heavy casualties.
On the third day of the battle, King Xerxes sent in the Immortals, Persia's elite fighting force. Still, the Persians had heavy losses while the Greeks had minimal. The Persians soon found out another way to get around the pass and defeat the Greeks at Thermopylae. There was a small pass around Thermopylae. This pass was not unknown by Leonidas. Leonidas had placed a group of Greeks in the pass to protect it. However, the group of Greeks had left to go protect their home. When Leonidas found out about this, he began retreating small groups out of his pass back to the main parts of Greece. Once he had retreated most of his army, only 300 Spartans remained. This was the final stand that could be made, and the Spartans knew what was going to happen. In the midst of the battle, Leonidas was shot by an arrow and killed on the battlefield. After that, there were many attempts to retain the body by both the Persians and the Spartans. Eventually, there was a minuscule amount of Spartans left. They recovered his body. After that, Xerxes' archer had no problem finding their mark. After the Persians win at Thermopylae, Xerxes ordered King Leonidas' head to be chopped off and planted on a stake.